like to introduce to you my team, out of which Himanshi is present here. Himanshi, if you could just say a few words about yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Imanshi Wadwani from India, and I chose the SDG 5 Gender Equality because I really think that it's important to make a change for all the women and the different, genders out there. So definitely, I will.
Thank you so much. As team leader, it is with great pride that I declare our chosen SDG as being gender equality, wherein we will be devoting the next 4 months of our time to research on and about the gender pay gap and propose an action plan to enable the eradication of the same. The performance by my team and I will be on a narrative about a day in an office that hosts a hostile environment for anybody who does not meet the generic criteria for employees all over the world. That is for them to be heterosexual, cisgender, rich males. It is with this that we begin our presentation. It was a typical day in the ever so gender biased office that Maria, the female employee, Dave, the male one, Jonah, who described his sexuality as being gay, and Ace, who identified as non binary, were so unfortunate as to work in. Of course, being a heterosexual, cisgender, rich white male, Dave had no complaints about working in the office whatsoever due to its audacious liability to receive the upper hand that was given to those belonging to the background that he did. Undoubtedly, Maria, Jonah, and Ace had no less than the impression of living a cursed life whilst working in that office, especially considering the homophobic, sexist, and transphobic employer that they were working under the supervision of. As the day began, it was payday at that. Dave was called into the office to collect his wage. When the boss gave him the intimation about the collection of his paycheck through the intercom, Dave's face understandably lit up, while those of everybody else's in the office who did not fall under the same criteria that he did were automatically pulled down due to overwhelming disappointment. When Dave entered the office, he went in with the impression that he was about to receive the highest salary that anybody would receive in that workplace. On handing the check to him, the employer made sure to shower him with ample compliments and words of praise to acknowledge the work that he had done in the past month, which, by the way, was mediocre at best. But of course, his gender, sexual preferences, and economic background all played a role in fetching him the treatment that he received. When the employer called Maria to the office, he put on a stern look on his face, as opposed to the one that he had on while handing the salary to Dave. Maria got up, looking not too hopeful about the amount that she was going to receive, knowing that the hard work, unending hours of presentation, and toil that she put into her job were going to result in nothing but her getting paid the same amount that she had been for the last 5 years at the job. When Maria entered, Jason, dispassionate as ever, handed the check to her, presenting no feelings of appreciation to commend her for her work whatsoever. And on checking the amount in the envelope, she was not surprised to find no change in her income. Over to you, Himanshi.
And if we talk about it, it was Jonah's turn to face disappointment and grief next, and his name was called. He prepared himself to expect at least a 0.5 decrease in his salary, regardless of the number of holidays he had to sacrifice just to be able to achieve a few words of affection from Jason. But to his unpleasant surprise, he always managed to receive none other than those that demotivated him to work at the office. When he went in, the stern look at Jason's face persisted, and he practically slammed the check into Jonah's hand, after which he looked at him with an visage of extreme disgust. On seeing this and wanting to face no more humiliation than he already had, Jonah had left the office and checked the envelope with a glimmer of satisfaction. The satisfaction did not arise from an increased salary, but from one hand that it had been decreased the exact amount that he expected. When Ace went into the office, they recognized the expression of contempt that had immediately taken its place over Jason's face as soon as he saw them. Trying their best to make as little eye contact as possible, Ace went into the office just to be asked to close the door. On closing the door, Jason began to scream as if he had never had and sacked Ace on the spot for taking one leave in the last week due to an urgent family commitment, regardless of having given an intimation well in time to the HR department and having received a confirmation on her leave. It was nothing that Ace had not already accepted, but tears of utmost disappointment were natural. They left the office without a word, and their co-workers looked at them with distress and pity. Ladies and gentlemen, it is this way that inequalities exist between the genders and continue to make workplaces a hostile environment for them in case their orientation is anything other than of this cisgender heterosexual rich male. And it is the reason for my team and I chose the gender pay as an appropriate topic to conduct extensive and influential research on and will devise an actual plan to eradicate the system as it provides an ammunition to victims at the very least.
Thank you so much for providing us with a platform to express the magnitude of necessity that the research topic carries. Thank you, Himanshi. I would also like to thank the entirety of my team for joining me on this journey, along with Youth Research Walks for providing us with an opportunity to do so. Thank you so much. It is with this that we end our presentation.